Hello, I'm Asmit Ghimire and today I'm going to demonstrate my part 2 project, and now I'm going to fill the form starting with email. My email is casmit22@gmail.com. tbc.edu.lp. My surname is Ghimire, G-H-I-M-I-R-E. My first name is Asmit, A-S-M-I-T. Yeah. The student ID is 774666816. My course is BSc Honors Computing. Tutor group. I belong to the British College. Important, I will fill this form honestly and realize that if my tutor sees that I haven't, I will lose my marks. Yes, I understand that I must upload my full code to upload the link on my packet by deadline. Yes, I am recording a YouTube demo showing this form and on the screen and showing and explaining my code with each question and also with this form. Yes, I understand that if my YouTube demo video is over 50 minutes long, I will have to verify my YouTube account. I have already done that, so yes, I'll put chapter markers in my video for each questions. Yes, I'll do that. I understand that if I do not do what is asked, I'll lose marks. I understand that. I read the assignment hand-in instructions. Yes, I have done that. I have checked that I have the latest version of boost.dll. Yes, I have. My GitHub username. Is this. My link to my repo, and now I'm going to paste the link to my repo. Here it is. Link to my YouTube demo. I will do this after I finish this demo. Paste link to a documentation site on GitHub as a web page. I have my documentation site website right here. As you can see, now I'm going to copy and paste this. Total number of commits by part 2 deadline. I have 89 commits by part 2. At least 20 documented commits since part 1 hand-in. Yes, I have 20 documented commits. Updated readme file with full details. Yes, I have updated readme files as you can see over here. Now, suppose interfaces to be used for all classes were appropriate. So in your code and explain how you have used them. Yes, Boost interface. I have used my own. I have implemented the Boost interfaces. As you can see in here, Boost Canvas. I have implemented the iCanvas interface. Boost Canvas implements the iCanvas interface. As you can see, I have used all the methods from iCanvas interface for my own canvas, and also I have implemented iCommand interfaces for my command classes, and these are the methods that I have inherited. Now, declare my own interface and use where appropriate. So in my code, yes, I have declared my own interfaces. As you can see over here, I have an interface called iVariableStore that defines the operations needed for variables and arrays, and I have the variable store class that implements it. I have also created an interface called execution context to represent the runtime environment, and the execution context class inherits it. Moving on, unit tests. Unit tests for all my classes. Yes, I have unit tests for all my classes, as you can see in here. I have unit tests for each of my classes. Unit tests are only separate test classes which corresponds to my classes. Yes, as you can see, I have unit tests for each corresponding classes. That is array, that is assign command, boolean command, and all the others. Unit test documented with XML comments, clearly showing its purpose. Yes, I have documented XML comments in the unit test, as you can see over here, and in others as well over here. Unit tests run and pass, showing them running in the testing framework, keeping all green ticks in your demo. And now I'll run all the unit tests. As you can see, all 69 tests have passed. Moving on to design pattern. Factory design pattern used for command generation. So in your code, and explain how it works. Yes, I have used factory design pattern for command generation via my command factory class. As you can see over here, it creates a correct iCommand object based on the command in Boost program. So instead of creating commands directly in the UI, the parser calls the factory's make command method for each line and returns the correct object. Moving on to next question, singleton design pattern used for classes which only have one object. So it in your code, yes, I have utilized singleton design pattern, which is in execution context. I have used singleton design pattern in my code for execution context. As you can see, it has private constructor and exposes a single global instance through execution context.instance implemented with lazy execution context over here. So it is only created once. This ensures that all the commands share one consistent runtime state and the UI can reset that single context between program runs. Moving on to next one, additional design pattern. So any design pattern and explain why they are what they are. So I have additional design pattern. Besides singleton and factory design pattern, my command uses code uses command design pattern, where every Boost keyword is implemented as a class. As you can see over here, this is an example of the circle command, which implements iCommand interface and encapsulates its behavior inside the execute method, so that the parser doesn't need to know how a circle is drawn. They just call the execute and an iCommand reference on an iCommand reference. Moving on, what is your additional design pattern called? Additional design pattern is called command pattern. Before moving on, so that you have got the latest Boost DLL library installed, so the output from the Boost about, I will show that now. I have about over here, as you can see, it is on the correct version. Moving on, variables. You must replace class you have written. When you replace a class, you must have written it yourself and not by using my code or not using it as it. Yes, I've replaced the classes with my own code, starting with replaced in class with your own code, and it works producing the same output as the example MS. So it's running. Now I'll show the unrestricted int running. As you can see, the unrestricted int is running as expected. Paste the link of the image file in your repo. Leave blank file if you have answered no. I have the image file in my repo over here. Now I'll copy the link and paste it over there. Moving on, replace real class with my own code and it works, producing the same output as the example image. Now I'll run the unrestricted real. As you can see, unrestricted real is running as expected. And now I will copy the link to the image and paste it over here. Yes, I have run it. Replaced array. I also have to explain the code. I forgot. So how int works is that in here my project has a custom int command class that implements the I command interface and declares integer variables in a variable store. So it replaces the int behavior for my interpreter. My factory maps the int command to my custom int command. So when the parser sees the line starting with int, my factory returns my own int command. And then in execute, the execute method resolves the values and stores it in the variable store class, which has these methods for declare int, get int, and set int. Moving on to real command. My project also contains a custom real command class that implements the I command interface. The factory maps the real command to my custom real command. So when the parser encounters the line real, my factory returns my own real command. And then in real command, the compile method extracts the variable name and optional initializer, and the execute method resolves the value using the value resolver and then stores it into the variable store. Moving on to array. Now I'll run the unrestricted array. As you can see, it's running as expected, but due to the error in the code is showing some error over here. As you can see, it works perfectly. And then I'll put the link of the array screenshot into the form. So how array works in my program is like I have an class called array commands. So the keyword array is handled by my own array command because the factory maps the array into the array command, and the array command compile method reads the type array name and the size, and execute method declares the array in my shared variable store using declare int array and declare real array. The array elements are modified by using my own poke and pick commands over here. Here is the poke command from the poke class, and here is the pick from the pick class. So moving on to the next one, if, and now also unrestricted if running. As you can see, it's running perfectly. Now I'll copy the image link and paste it in the form. Now for if, I have a class called if command over here, and so when my father sees the command if keyword in my if keyword, it returns if command from my factory, and the main execution in the main execution loop in format, it is treated as a block statement. I pass the full program into the set program context over here and execute the command inside if command evaluation condition over here. He resolves the left and right side using variable store and applies operators. Then the fars if else block method scans forward, splits the line into if block and else block statement, and stops at the end if. Finally, the execute block runs if block, and if the condition is false, the else block. Moving on to while. Now I'll run the while program. As you can see, it's working perfectly. Now paste the image link into the form. So how while works is that I have a class called while command which implements the I command, and in the main loop while is treated as a block statement. When a line starts with a while, form1 calls set program context methods and executes the first command, and inside the execute method the loop body is extracted by scanning forward to find end while, and then it repeatedly evaluates the condition using evaluate condition method and runs the loop by using execute block loop until the condition is false. And to prevent infinite loop, there is maximum of iteration of 1000 over here. Moving on to for. Now I'll run the unrestricted for. As you can see, it's working perfectly. Now I will copy the image link into the form. So the for command works the same way. I have the for class over here, for command class. has compile and execute methods inside it, and the compile method forces the loop header, and execute method resolves the numeric boundaries and iterates from start to end. On every iteration, it updates the loop variable in the shared variable store and executes the body lines using the parser. Moving on to else. Now I will run the else code. As you can see, it is running perfectly. And now I'll copy the link. Moving on to method. Implement method with your own code, and so it's running. Now I'll run the unrestricted method. There is a typo in the code. As you can see, it's working perfectly. Now I'll paste the image link in the form. So how method works is that I have a method command class over here which implements the same I command, and when they run a loop hits the method line, it sets the program context, executes method command. The execute method reads the method body lines and stores the method in a dictionary so it can be called later. Then the program reaches call line in my call command and delegates to call command method, which binds argument values into parameter variables, executes the store body using the normal parser, and restores any old parameters values after the call. So moving on to the next question, have you done anything that is additional substantial? No, I have not. I'll answer this as no. AI used? No, I have not used any AI. I have not used any other library than standard library. No, I have not used any other faculties. No, I do not have any other comments. And that is it, and now I'm going to submit my form. Yeah, I understand that I must upload my code to my backend.